The Combat Achievement Diary, a testament to a player's problem-solving, spatial reasoning, and overall skill in old school RuneScape. My goal is to complete the diary in the lowest in-game time. This is the Helm any percent speedrun, starring GM to GMs. Welcome back to the Helm any percent speedrun. Last we left off, I was getting arthritis training this skill, but thankfully, it's time to do a birdhouse run. Currently, we're sitting at just under 24 hours of playtime, and I don't want to end today's episode until that hits 48 hours. I've got some big plans in mind, and you can get a lot done in 24 hours. So let's see where the future Grandmaster can take us today. With 50 plus thieving knocked out, we can move to a better training method than wimpy bandits. Well, almost. Remember, Jagex made favor a thing in this game that you have to get. So I picked up worms out of the sand like any normal full-grown adult, and the citizens of the fishing colony accepted me as one of their own. Now it's payback time. Since these filthy cretins made me rummage through the sand for worms, I'm going to rob them blind of all their valuables, with the help of DJ Khalid. This thieving method is much better at this level than bandits, and we can alch during it. Speaking of, there's 50 magic. Now we can use our magical purple stone to generate twice as much money from our fire runes. This process of putting this town into poverty continued until I landed on 65 thieving, which is for Menifite guards. It doesn't matter when we do that grind, so I'm simply going to put it off for now. And with our newly found magical abilities, we're getting an upgrade from the infinite money source. Drip check? 10 out of 10. With these upgrades, we're set to deal somewhat meaningful damage in combat, so it's time to head back to some quests, starting with an old classic that I most definitely haven't done 10 plus times in my life, Monkey Madness. And being the grizzled veteran that I am, I know to grab a few more talismans from the naive monkey child, so we can cut down the amount of trips we need to travel through this long tunnel. One minor setback, which is something that happened on the account I tested the route on, but forgot it applied here as well. If you're familiar with the Haunted Mine quest, there is an illuminated mushroom you need to access the dark basement. However, if you take it outside the mine, it will disintegrate. Well, I got a surprise exam random event during that quest, and naturally we take the free agility experience, but that classroom is not in the cave, so I ended up having to redo that whole section. Here we have history repeating itself. If you teleport at all with the monkey in your backpack, it disappears. Look at past me, completely clueless to the 3-minute time loss I've just incurred, all for 510 agility experience. I hope it was worth it. Thankfully, there was no more monkey business, and the jungle demon went down pretty easy to my magical drip and a cannon. That's quest completed and a lot of combat experience, which we will be making use of today. But first, I need to show off how bad I am at 2 ticking oak trees. After about 35 minutes, we got 36 woodcutting, which is enough for the Lost City quest. Wow, the next clip was me finishing Lost City? No way, I bet nobody saw that coming. Here's a lovely example why being a main is nice. This part of the quest is 1 trip, and that's Mauritania unlocked. More of me definitely not cheating talking to the 2 same NPCs. Ghosts ahoy! Nature Spirit. For this section of Fairytale, I can just log out while I wait for Uber Eats to deliver. After tipping 25% and somehow failing the Swambletics bridge, we took on a boss that in my opinion should have its own combat achievement. We have Glouphrie, Seren, and Galvek. I think it's only fair we add Tangleroot. And that's Fairytale done? Now for Fairytale Part 2, we need to wait for Martin's crops to grow. So we'll start this quest that has a cutscene so long that we're able to leave a screwdriver on our spacebar, take the dog for a walk, get in our car, drive to our local Jersey Mike's, and when we get home, the cutscene is still going. Jagex, if you're looking for last-minute Christmas ideas, please, I am begging with all fiber of my being, allow us to skip this cutscene like we can for Tale of Two Cats and the Giant Dwarf quests before Leagues 4 comes out. I can't keep letting Hazelmere live rent-free in my head. Eyes of Gonglechong done? And we unlock fairy rings, mainly to travel to this teak tree spot. It's in the middle of nowhere, but thankfully Seibei agendaed a fairy ring into the game. Without it, I swear it would take like 10 minutes to get here. Now you might ask, Cold One, why aren't you 1.5 ticking teaks? Isn't that faster? And the answer is yes, but you gotta remember, every player in the game has their weaknesses. Collection loggers are bad at PvP. Skillers are bad at PvM. PvMers/PvPers are bad at skilling.
What the f is happening in my inventory right now?
I fall in the last category. I tuned in for Hebox Yowan's 1.5 tick teak streams recently. I know how to 1.5 tick, but when it involves those 3 tree patches, my swamp tar just turns into a guam tar within seconds. I can't explain it. We will be 1.5 ticking other skilling content, but for now, just let me cook. With the inferior woodcutting method completed, we repeat the theme of enough XP for 70 with quests. Another delivery from Uber Eats, this time with some pickaxes. We get ourselves 42 mining off of iron ore, then move to the sulfur mines. Funny enough, the amount of sulfur I need works out to give me pretty much the exact amount of experience I need before I mine somewhere else. Wedged in between this mining, we finished the Hosidius quest, and now we're going to make some charcoal for the dynamite. It takes 16 hours to burn, so I'm going to just not play the game at all until then. See you in 16 hours! After a nice refreshing break, we collect our charcoal and make the dynamite to put us at 65% favor. The Lovikinch quest puts us at 75%. I just found this splasher. How much gold do you think this moron's bought? Hey, I'm a YouTuber and I didn't record the Enlightened Journey quest, but I recorded the cat quest, so it's okay. YouTuber didn't record 40 smithing. Shallow Village quest done? You guys know this quest? I love this one. I'm so happy I'm doing it. One small favor, and we limp agility every time. The Golem quest? After some bad luck with I can't pronounce this guy's name, we finish Shadow of the Storm. Now we can make the Arclight in the future. YouTuber didn't record Murder Mystery, but I recorded Black Knight's Fortress. During the Tale of Two Cats quest, you need to scout Bob the Cat, so I logged out until he was found. We also get some downtime while the potatoes are growing, so we did Death Plateau, got an alert that the potatoes were done, and failed to record Troll's Stronghold. That's Tale of Two Cats and more agility experience. Edgar's Ruse, Fremenic Trials, Vampire Slayer, Shades of Morton, In Search of the Mire Key, we made 2 Avandus rods because we need to make the flail later, Darkness of Halavale, and 13k agility experience. I really undersold how great my magic setup is. Treya's Daith absolutely just stands no chance against us. Take some notes, Swampman. This is how you Mauritania. Haunted Mine completed, and we gather some extra shards while we're down here. And with that, it's time to get started on possibly the longest grind on this account, and that's Slayer. We will be doing Wilderness Slayer at the start, as we need a lot of points, and low Slayer level tasks are garbage anyway. However, if you see my chat box, there's a lot of dopamine going on. Greater Demons are going to be one of the best tasks we can get. For tasks like these, we will be using the Bracelet of Slaughter, and tasks like Bears, we will use the Expeditious Bracelets. Another thing that might make some of you mad is that I'm not bothering to loot the Laren's Keys. This is a speedrun series, not a money-making series. First task done, and the EXP is fantastic. Second task, Ice Warriors. Bad numbers. Third task, Hellhounds. Decent numbers. We also turned on the Playtime plugin so you guys can follow along better. Fourth task, Revenants. I don't even want to talk about it. Fifth task, Spiders. Not bad. Sixth task, Greater Demons. Incredible. Seventh task, Magic Axes. Meh. Eighth task, Mammoths. This would have been much better if I had the right bracelet on. Ninth task, Earth Warriors. Why do I feel like Framed is going to log in? EXP's kind of bad here. 10th task, Bandits. Decent task. 11th task, Mammoths. Much better EXP now. 12th task, Greater Demons. 13th and the final task for now is Moss Giants. We will be leaving here for now as we have the attack level we wanted to take on the... Oh hey, 4th key! Just one more and that's Bryophyta taken care of. Anyway, I wanted this level so I can take on a few quest bosses, starting with Ranus Draken. We might not pack much of a punch at 50 strength, but with an inventory full of brews, this fight is able to be brute forced. That's the Taste of Hope completed for 7,500 agility experience and a new medallion. Up next is a Night at the Theater, and me failing the Settle Bridge again! The Hespori in this quest is kinda like Rhinus Draken. You hit a ton of zeros, but with enough brews, we can beat it pretty effortlessly. Now here's the stuff made for the big leagues. This quest requires you to complete the Theater of Blood, and that's right up my alley. I've done this thousands of times. I know these streets like the back of my hand. This will be no challenge for a gamer like myself. I personally wouldn't even call this quest a challenge in the slightest. All the rooms are a piece of cake. Light work. No trouble at all for someone of my caliber. And with that, we now have one entry mode Theater of Blood kill count. And wouldn't you know it, no purple. I swear intelligent gameplay is never rewarded. But hey, look at that. Quest is done, and now we have 80,000 combat experience to toss around. But we put it all on attack, getting me to 60 if I could do basic math. But that's not the case, so instead it got us to 61. This unlocks the Vigor's Chain Mace and Dragon Claws, which we will be using to make our Slayer grind that much faster. Thank you, Uber Eats. But real quick, look at this. Troll Romance for more agility experience. You guys recognize this cutscene? Spoiler alert, we're not fully finishing this quest. We actually have 0 use for Barrow's Gloves, but before your 1600 total Fire Cape having Iron Man gets all uppity, hear me out. While training Slayer, I'm going to be wearing one of these 2 bracelets most of the time anyway, so the gloves wouldn't be seeing much play. The 20,000 experience lamp for agility would be nice at the end, but it's not worth the time investment to finish the other subquests. Additionally, the Ceramic Vase subquest requires completion of Legends Quest, Heroes Quest, and Dragon Slayer 1 in order to complete. We're intentionally not completing Dragon Slayer 1 alongside Contact, Cabin Fever, and Regicide until we're further along with Slayer. Additionally, we're not completing Elemental Workshop or Olaf's quest at all. All of these quests unlock slow and undesirable Slayer tasks, so this will give us much better tasks overall, and a much shorter Slayer grind. There is, however, one subquest I do need to complete, and with that experience from Troll Romance, we can now do it. Every time I do the subquest, I always prepare 5 snakes, just in case. And yet again, history repeats itself, and I cook the first one successfully. This always happens, and I know if I come here the next time with 4 snakes, all 4 of them are going to burn. And that's King of Wowage's subquest completed, which is a requirement for Monkey Madness 2. Also agility experience. Ernest the Chicken, Animal Magnetism, more multi-questing where I start finishing Lovakenge Favor, complete Temple of the Eye, finish the Favor, get Arceus Favor to 90%, complete the Arceus quest, and grab the Hosidius Favor certificate that I must have dropped earlier. Now it's time for the second skilling boss of the series. Meet Tempoross, a true terror of the deep with 8 tasks for us to complete. However, I'm only here to complete 3 of them. You're required to get a lot of permits in a solo game, and I want the Humidify spell for that. Additionally, the remaining tasks happen passively during that solo, so it works out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a combat task. That is all. This is also a combat task. Put fish in all 4 cannons. So, I got taken off guard here. You see my chat box? That's this task. I thought it only counted in solo because I had the reading comprehension skills of a toddler. But that's the Wereful Angler combat task done, I guess. That's the kill count combat task for 5 KC. Remember what I said about the in-game timer plugin? Disregard all of that, it broke. Bye bye in-game timer plugin. And with that, we have 9 kill count at Tempoross. We will finish the last kill when we return with Humidify. Now I only did some Tempoross now because it was on the way. We're at the end of the episode and we're just shy of 48 hours. I'd say we did quite a lot for 24 hours. What do you think? Did we do some gaming? I think we did some gaming. We finished today's episode with a skill total level of 1266 and a playtime of just under 2 days. Now, boosting my ego aside, welcome to my home for the next several hours. For those of you unfamiliar with this place, keep it that way if you enjoy the game. Trust me. Thank you all for watching today's episode of the Zook Helm Any% Speedrun. Next episode, we'll start with the mining skill being completed, along with us getting out of the questing phase completely. So make sure to click the red button so that you don't miss it. The analytics say that only 3 of my viewers aren't subscribed, so if you're one of the 3 stooges, please subscribe to me. It will make the best Christmas present of all time. Now before I let you guys go, I'd like for you to hear a word from today's video sponsor, Tasty.
It's just ruining my life. Did you guys know that you have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to subscribe to the only hardcore Iron Man in history that has soloed Tob and carried Dollblush through several TOBs on said hardcore? Subscribe now to A Cold One's YouTube channel. Thank you.